40 years ago, I read this book, Japanese Pilgrimage by Oliver Statler. It describes an ancient Buddhist pilgrimage to 88 temples around the island of Shikoku, Japan, that was started by this monk, Kobodaishi. I was a college student at the time, living in Tokyo, and I thought, that sounds fun. So I applied for a grant from my college, and 6 months later, I was a pilgrim. Modern pilgrims often take the bus, but I wanted to be like Kobodaishi. So for 40 days, I walked all day for a total of more than 800 miles through bamboo forests, along beautiful rugged coasts, over mountains, and through rice fields. Most nights I slept outside. And I had my journal stamped and signed at all 88 temples. Today, I don't recall much from the book, from Statler's book, but the pilgrimage remains with me vividly. I can still recall sights, sounds, people I met, specific feelings I had on specific days. It didn't just give me memories, it profoundly impacted me at the level of my values and my future choices. So one of those choices was a career in organizational learning. And I share this with you because this is an example of experiential knowledge acquired through experience. Which, by the way, guess what? Machines don't have it. Machines don't experience, right? Machines process data. Humans experience life. Experiential knowledge is not neatly contained, and we're not passive consumers. We create it. It's personal, it's situational, it's practical. It unfolds over time, and it can be a powerful resource. In a world a bit obsessed with technology, is human experience in danger of being overshadowed? Probably. But that also means that the value of human experience, the stock price of experiential knowledge, is rising. Highly valuable experiential knowledge exists in abundance. It's in this room right now, and it can be shared. But how? That's the tricky part. I want to talk to you tonight about recognizing it, cultivating it, and sharing it. How do you recognize experiential knowledge? A particular type of result. First, how do you acquire it? Slowly, gradually, subconsciously. It's often called tacit or embedded. We know we have the knowledge, but we don't explicitly understand the knowledge we have. It's this sort of intuitive sense. But when we need it, it's there and we rely on it. There's a simple pattern of experiential learning which goes like this, and this is very simple. I act. If I get a result I want, I do that again. If I don't get a result I want, I try something else. And then sometimes, experiment. See what happens. The power is in repetition. Over and over. Layers upon layers of knowledge, building greater depth and greater capacity. So to identify or recognize experiential knowledge, look for practical, situational know-how. How do we cultivate it? How do we cultivate experiential learning? Bad news, good news? By stepping into challenging situations that are outside of your normal repertoire. By doing that, you will struggle. It's uncomfortable, and you may not succeed right at first. However, the good news is that experience evolves your perception, making it easier to produce results. So an expert sees differently than a novice does. For example, a chef who learns through improvising new dishes, experimenting, failing, succeeding. Eventually, if she persists long enough, she acquires knowledge that changes her perception. It's not just different concepts. She literally sees, tastes, and experiences food differently. So, to cultivate experiential learning, step into challenging situations. How can we share it? It is not easy to share hidden knowledge that's mostly hidden and constantly changing. However, there are ways. Apprenticeship works, but takes generally 3 to 7 years. A faster method is structured interviewing. I call it disembedding, but this requires a guide. But there is a simple and natural way, and that's storytelling. Sharing stories of meaningful experiences. For example, on my pilgrimage, I met an older gentleman who was doing the pilgrimage on a bicycle. We had dinner, and over dinner he told me his story, more than I expected. He was a World War II veteran. He had come back, a young man, to a devastated country, very limited resources. But despite his hardship, he met a woman, fell in love, married, and they started a business together. And that was going well. He said he was very happy even though it was hard. Unfortunately and sadly, she passed away decades earlier. But here he was doing the pilgrimage to honor her memory. Then he surprised me and he said, "Can I walk with you tomorrow to temple number 66? Temple number 66 is the steepest climb of the entire pilgrimage. It's famous." So I said, "Of course." The next day was tough for him. It was hot. There are biting flies. But we made it, step by step, with lots of rests. We finally reached the summit. When we said goodbye, he turned to me, and Japanese bow, and the depth of the bow is significant. And he's 50 years older than me. And he gave me a long, deep bow. Then he got on an air-conditioned bus to go back down the mountain. As I walked from Temple 66 to Temple 88, and I'd get my journal stamped and signed, the person would often say, "Hey, there was a guy here who told us you were coming." So I had read about people who live by deeply held values and are willing to make sacrifices for what they value. I understood that as a concept. But he was my first direct experience of a person who was actually like that. Living proof that it was real. And I've been trying to live up to that example ever since. So storytelling can have a lasting impact. So, concepts, data, or experience. I don't think our humanity will be defined by our ability to process data. Our gift is our capacity to experience and learn from life directly. Instead of being spellbound by technology, let's remember, we create knowledge as we live. Human-created knowledge, tested by life itself, exists in abundance. So let's pay attention. Notice your own. Notice the others who have unique experiential knowledge. Share it, cultivate it, pass it on, so it becomes part of our shared story. Thank you.